I'm having a sweet craving right now. I've been working and it's so dry that I feel like I want something sweet for breakfast. So what I'm going to do is I got 2 cups of flour. Oh, look at all the flour. 2 cups of flour in here. I just want to add a little bit of sugar. I'm using about a half a cup of white sugar with a teaspoon of baking powder. Now the flour I'm using, you can use any brand. I definitely am using gluten free. We are gluten free. There's no way around it. Okay, so I've got the flour in there. You know, I'm going to add in a little flaxseed. Flaxseed is really good for you. The flaxseed is put in the blender, so it's blended down. I do it all the time. And then when you're, you know, when you're storing it after you blended it, put it in the fridge. It'll last for about 2 weeks, and it stays fresh. Okay, so we've got the 2 cups of flour in there, and I've got the half a cup of sugar. Don't really need a lot of sugar. I'm making waffles, so I can put, you know, jam or whatever on it. I'm going to put a dash of salt. I don't know if you can see that. A dash of salt. And you know what? I am going to make this a little healthy today. Just a little healthy. I wasn't going to, but that's the way I cook. I do things the spur of the moment. I'm going to add in my milk into my blender. And since I started using this and it's so big, I picked this out of the garden the other day. Yes, we're almost in winter and I still have zucchini growing. I'm going to take a piece off, and because I cut it off, oh, there's seeds there. No, because I cut it off already, I'm just going to cut the end off because it's open, and I'm going to put this back here and use it for something else later. I don't really need to peel it. This is a nice fresh zucchini, very damp and wet. I'm just going to chop it up. I think I want to take the seeds out though. I'm throwing it not on the floor, I'm in my compost pan. Okay, I'll put that in there. Don't need to do too much to it. Going to cut up some more. Let me see how it blends, and then I'll decide if I'm going to add the eggs into this or not. Let's see. That's it. My zucchini is now liquefied. And now I'll put in, I'm going to put in 3 eggs. You can use 2. If you really want, you can use none. See, I don't really have recipes. I just cook. If I feel like we haven't eaten enough and we need some more protein. Oh, a shell. I got it. If I think it's breakfast and I want to add in more eggs, then what I'm going to do is I'll put in 3. And if I don't think we need that many eggs, then I'll put in 1 or 2. All right. Look at that. Now, if I added too much milk, there's a, you know, or anything, you can always add in more flour. I've got my Waffle Maker heated already. You can always add in more milk. You can add in more water. You know what? I'm not adding butter into this one. So to help it so it doesn't stick that much, and it probably won't stick anyways, a little olive oil. But you can add in melted butter or whatever you feel like. Let's see if there's anything left in there. If you don't want to add in a zucchini, of course you don't have to. But this works out really good. Then you kind of have this guilty pleasure and you think, well, at least I'm somewhat healthy. I don't know. But, you know, it's nice. You could add in kale or something, but see, kale and your greens and your Swiss chard and your spinach, they all have a taste. It just, to me, doesn't really work for a breakfast meal. But for this, zucchini, or we grew so much spaghetti squash one year, we got sick of it. We really, really, really got sick of it. I was using really small spaghetti squash, and it was just like using zucchini. It was great. You know, I don't have to add in anything else. Look at that. I think this is perfect, just the way it is. All right. I may need a ladle, so we'll see. And I may not. Now, I like to brush the inside with olive oil. You got to get one of these brushes. They're so great. I'm sure you can buy it almost anywhere. I bought mine at the thrift store. But I'm sure they're cheap. You can get them anywhere. Okay, I'm going to use a ladle. I always rinse things when they come out of drawers. If you hear me crunching on the floor, there's been massive wildfires all around us. We're fine. But boy, I sweep the floor and it's the soot that keeps coming in. And you walk around, and the wind too, so it's doing all kinds of stuff. And you're just crunching on the floor. Ugh. It's very, very sad what's going on. Ventura alone has lost over 400 homes. And so many other cities have lost, and communities have lost their homes. My heart goes out to them. I just really haven't been in the mood to really do anything, but I'm working. I'm doing my normal Christmas work this time of the year that I do. But anyways, look how simple this is. Now, I do want to brush the top before I close it. You really can't, I can't give you a measurement of how much to put in your waffle maker, because every waffle maker is different. But that's it. And then when it's done, I don't know if I have any in the fridge. Oh yes, all the way in the back. I've got just some strawberry jam. You can put anything you want on it. Fresh strawberries from the garden if you still have. Ah, like I said, it looks like it's cloudy outside. It's not cloudy. It's smoke in the air. The dogs have been okay. I don't think you can see the dogs in the shot. Kitty, come here. Yeah. Oh, Molly's still limping, but the cast just came off. You got to strengthen that leg now. But it's been tough around here. I know there's been some people asking me to keep getting videos up. I just been glued to the TV, and it's, my goodness, my waffle maker singing. It's been really, really sad. Really, really sad. The hummingbirds have been really hungry. I wonder if a lot of them have moved away from fire areas, and maybe even more have come in. But you know, this is so simple. And even this mix, I mean, it's very forgiving. You can put anything in it. You can use it and make pancakes out of it if you don't have a waffle maker. Make pancakes. I've done it. I do that. But like I said, this has been really, really tough. Been drinking tea, mint tea. This is just so simple. Waffle makers are so cheap. I got this one at the thrift store. Okay, it says $10. I think it was half price that day, so I got it for $5. But you know, for gluten free, this is 1, 2, 3, and there was just not much really went in here. And let me tell you something. The other thing I've done with these, because we are gluten free and we haven't bought any pizza, and I know they make all the fancy gluten free pizzas. I've taken waffles, leftover waffles, put pizza sauce on top, and then cover them with cheese and chicken and different things, whatever we've got, and put it in the oven and baked it. My husband goes crazy over it. We have a waffle pizza. Think of the pockets in there. The pockets are holding all the sauce. And it's just got such a good flavor in it, and it holds together good, and the crust is like, kind of like, believe it or not, it's kind of like a pizza crust. So let's see what's going on. Almost. I'm going to get a plate so I can lift that out. Oh, it's just been so sad. Like I said, for days I've been glued to the TV. I've got the TV on now. And to see Ventura, you know, the Ojai area, it's so beautiful up there. And then the Silmar area's got their problems, and now you got San Diego, you've got fires, and there's like, I think right now there's 6 fires burning. We're right in the middle, so we're okay. We're far from the fires, but you know, if a fire broke out here, we would have a major problem. You know, we're on fire watch. We're watching if we see anything suspicious. I have not, but if I see, actually I did. But we won't get into that. I don't want to name the company. But there was a company, a guy came up here in a company truck and stood on the side of the hill, got out of his vehicle and started smoking. While we're 5% humidity, red flag, heavy winds, he gets out of his vehicle, not even smoking in his vehicle. He gets out, I called the company, I gave them fair warning. I told them that if he shows up here again, because he's probably a regular for this area, I will be posting his photograph on many news stations, and some of which I know. So this will be very interesting. I think they spoke to him already. I haven't even seen him. You can't do that. That's stupidity. He wants to smoke. He has to smoke. Do it in his vehicle. Do it. Go to a parking lot someplace. Not sitting in the wildlife corridor where he went and started smoking a cigarette. It's been a very stressful week. And I don't need to see things like that. I don't want to, you know, get into all this with everybody. It's just really, like I said, it's been a really downer. And listening to all the fires and all these people just before Christmas have lost their homes. And I can't even imagine. I have lived through fires before and hosed before. And thank God, knock on wood, never lost anything. And you hear all these horses died and other people who were at work and the fire rushed through and took their beloved pets. And then, of course, all their possessions. And there's so many things people don't even talk about. And it kind of surprises me. Like when they say, oh, they will rebuild. They will rebuild. Yes, but if you've been at a house like some of these people for 50 years, this is California now, and you're paying low property taxes, when you build a brand new home, it is reassessed, and their property taxes, from what I understand, will now go to the new price of what the home is worth. I mean, I've got somebody in my area that's paying property taxes of like $1,000 a year, because they bought their home so many years ago, like for $30,000. So could you imagine if they bought their home, maybe a retired couple had bought their home for 100 grand, I don't know, but let's just say, and now they have to rebuild. They reevaluate, of course, and now they'll say, well, the house is actually worth 400,000 or 500,000 alone, and then their property taxes go up. This is why a lot of people that lose their homes, we had one just down the hill lose their home, they don't come back. They take the payout and they go somewhere else. So it's very, very sad. But yeah, I guess that's as brown as this is going to get. Oh, hot, hot. Let me get my tongs. But it's just so fun, the waffles to make, and they're gluten-free. This is all new. I just started this a little while ago. Look at that. I can't really touch it. It's so hot. But it was just something I was at the thrift store. This is, not that long ago, actually. Probably about 2 months ago. I was at the thrift store, and I looked at the waffle maker, because growing up, when I was a kid, those waffle makers were awful. You would put your waffles dough in there, and you would end up with a sticky nothing, horrible mess. So I kind of never really went back to waffles. And I looked at the waffle maker and I thought, it's so cheap. I have nothing to lose. Why not just try it? And I came home and I tried it. And it was, gee, I don't have enough to make a second batch. Not a second batch, a third batch. I have 2 waffle makers now. I have a small one, and this is a big one. Look at that. So I came home and I tried it, and it worked perfect. It just worked perfect. So now, let me get this. I just cut my squash on that. I can do something very simple. I either make a teeny little waffle, or just make another set because I can do something else with it. This is what I'm saying. Cooking is very, very forgiving. You don't really have to do or think that much when you're doing something simple. I'm just going to add a little bit more gluten-free flour. Of course, I'm not adding in any more squash because I'm not going to bother, is what it is. I'm simply not going to bother. I will add in one more egg because there's just enough barely to make like one waffle square, and there's 3 waffle squares in there. And then I'll pour in a little milk and voila, I've got my last set. And as soon as these are all done, I'm going to go find Gary, who is moving wood chips today. And that's one thing the fire department loves, wood chips all over the ground, especially when you're in like, we're single digits. The humidity right now is like 5%. You will end up with less fires. If a fire came through where the wood chips are, it would skim right over it. And it would go find trees and brush and other things to get. Just skim right over it. You know what? I'm not going to add any sugar to this because there's a little bit already in there. What I might do is make pizza out of this later. Because I've made way too much for us anyways, I think. But going back to the wood chips, yeah, if you know, I do hit the wood chip piles periodically with water. And they soak to the center. And so they stay somewhat damp. They're not as dry as you would think. And like I said, it would just skim over. You got more problems with palm trees, and yes, we have one palm tree on the property. I think it's only one. We do have other trees. We do have some eucalyptus, which are very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Eucalyptus trees, they all explode because of the oil. But look at that. Isn't this beautiful? Ooh. Oh, so good. I think there's a squash in here. There would be one small squash, if you think about it, because that squash I brought in was like that big. Whoops. Uh-oh. You moved on me. You've never moved before. It's almost done. If I didn't put the zucchini in here, it probably would brown better. Because it's got vegetables in here, it's a little lighter. Plus I could have left it in longer. You know what this is. You get excited as soon as you see the waffle maker come out. Oh my gosh, you can eat it like this. Mmm. Mmm. So good. So, okay, let me finish my video, guys. You're going to trip me. But anyways, and now I'm talking with a full mouth. I'm going to finish this up. I have just quickly thrown together enough to make that big waffle maker makes 4 waffles. I'm going to make 4 more. I'll make a pizza later out of it. You saw how I lifted it out. Just lay it on a platter, put sauce on it, cheese, any vegetables you want, whatever you top it with, mushrooms, olives, whatever you want. Put it in the oven. And this will make like a beautiful pizza. I'll use that one because it will have less sugar. You don't really need sugar for that. So I guess that's it for now. We're going to go finish up. We're going to go put some jam on there. And we're all going to have waffles. I'm looking at the dogs. I'm not sure if they're in the shot. And I'm going to go find Gary and go back and do my work and try to get more of these videos up on how I cook gluten-free, because I'm doing, you know, bread now, and I make sandwiches, and of course I'm making waffles. A little bit of everything. I mean, there's nothing we can't eat, because there's always a way to make it gluten-free. So, as I always say, don't forget to eat what you grow. See, I put a zucchini in here. See, here's the other one I picked. Got this one. But yeah, they're still growing. Now, granted, we're in the beginning of December, and tomorrow we're supposed to be 80 degrees, so it's a little warmer than usual. But I'm composting right next to the zucchini. I've got my compost. If you want to see, check the link, and I'll put a link up of how I compost in place. And because I'm composting, the plants are just growing like mad and growing zucchini. All right, well, I'm going to go finish up my waffles. And don't forget to eat Way to grow. Bye-bye.